Look around the countryside of western Pennsylvania, and you're likely to see sites like this one, signaling the remarkable growth in home construction. Here in Westmoreland County, no home or construction site is quite as unique or quality built as a custom home crafted by exclusive builder Bob Shuster.
Hello, I'm John Burnett, and welcome to Custom Living, an inside look at the custom homes of Bob Shuster and RWS Development. Now, in the next few minutes, you're going to meet the area's first family of custom homes, the Schusters.
Bob, Sally, Mike, Kim, Robbie, and Chrissy have made RWS Development the largest family-owned construction company in the county. You'll see some of their remarkable homes and view up close their one-of-a-kind philosophy when it comes to building. You'll see Bob's vision at work and his hands-on touch, expertise that's redefining the meaning of a custom home.
You know, there is something that you could do here if you wanted to do this.
RWS Custom Homes begin with the ideas and needs of homeowners just like you, people who place the welfare of their most important investment in the hands of their builder. For Bob Shuster and RWS Development, the phrase custom home is much more than a cliche concept. It's an experience in custom building that can be summed up in one word: success.
Custom home to me is very simple. We're going to build that house the way you want it. I've heard people accuse us of making cookie-cutter homes, only because we have 10 or 12 basic models that we use.
We need room.
I bring the potential buyers in and we look at it and we design this house. I sit down with an architect. The first thing we look at is the floor plan. Well, they say, well, I don't like this wall here. Fine, let's move it. I don't like these cabinets here. Let's move it. Let's do what you want, totally redesign it. We do the first floor, then we go to the second floor.
Flexibility has always been a keystone in Bob Shuster's method of doing business, but reputation put RWS on the map and helps keep it there.
I want them done right. I don't want any problems with them. I don't want the homeowners to have any problems. And as far as service things and so on, I want it taken care of. That is more dear to me than making big piles of money. I don't like to brag, but I got to say this. Lincoln Hills is by far going to be, if not the nicest, one of the nicest plans that I've done. There's a lot of things in here, the location, but I think the best thing is the designs of these homes. And we are able to set these houses in this hill to make it look like the houses grew into the hill. Just take a ride through. You don't see houses offset. This is all done methodically, and we want people to go through it and realize that somebody put a lot of thought into all this thing. It just isn't going and pounding nails and so on. There's a lot more to it than just that. You've got to lay the subdivision out in the proper elevations and also get the proper planes so that everything looks correct.
Bob's early experience in the retail lumber business and building components industry have provided him with valuable insight into how to get the job done right the first time and what products make today's homes better. Although Bob is president of RWS, he is still a hands-on builder, working heavy equipment, meeting with crews, inspecting job sites and foundations, or reviewing plans with homeowners and architects. Practical experience, product knowledge, and sound building principles embody every aspect of Bob's career. But his greatest asset may in fact be his family.
You know, I think I'm fortunate. I've got one son that likes to move dirt around. I've got another son that likes to build houses and work with wood and so forth. That's a workforce in itself. My youngest, Christine, she goes out and sells some of these houses and getting experience with the customers, helping in the office. And my daughter-in-law, Kim, comes out. She works in the office. She pays the bills, answers the phones, greets the customers, and she's very much like my wife, Sally. She's sort of the catalyst in the office. She treats the customers with total respect and gets things done with all these people, and everybody loves her. I guess what, you could say she's the icing on the cake because she's always smiling, takes care of the customers, and they all love her for it.
If you've done your homework, you know that when it comes to building a custom home, quality materials and solid construction make all the difference.
Quality building and solid construction sounds real simple. Anybody can say the words. But what does quality building mean? I try to make these houses as strong as possible, and without getting in a lot of detail, this house is going to be here for a lot of years. Me and my family live in them, and believe me, they are going to last because of the products that we put in and the methods that we use to do it. The topic about what's in our home is a very easy thing for me to talk about. When you dig the hole, that's the first thing. And people think that you just put a bulldozer in there and dig a hole. That's not the way it is. You get in there and you look at the soils. You make sure that you're going to have support. You make sure that the ground is going to support the house. And when you get down in the hole, you dig a little further. Maybe 2 inches underneath the footer, there's a coal seam or pyrite seam. You need to do those things. We have the experience. We dig and make sure that we're not going to hit that kind of soil. We put a full concrete footer under our homes with an inside-outside French drain system. We pour a 10-inch concrete wall for your foundation. It's reinforced with rebars, with gravel from the bottom to the top of the foundation wall. Once we get to that, we tar the outside of that with expandable tar. We put styrofoam on the outside of the wall. We backfill it from the bottom to the top with stone. We don't have water problems. We make sure that our French drains are going somewhere where they're not going to bring water back in. The next thing we do, we put 2x10 floor joists on them, and we even specify what species of wood that we want to use. We don't just let them send out any kind of white wood. We want hemp-fir floor joists, and we want them dried to a certain point. We want plates put under this thing that are dried. No one goes out and worries about it. When we're laying the bricks and so on, we leave the proper spacing in. We put a deflector around the outside of this house made out of 2 foot of rubber at each floor level so that any water that would seep through bricks will hit that deflector and go to the outside rather than to the inside. We put little plastic sieves in your brick courses so that there's a place for the water to come out. It's almost like a little French drain system in your brickwork. Whenever we start framing the house, the next thing we use is actual 3/4 inch tongue and groove exterior plywood on your floor. It's not OSB board, it's not flake board, it's not particle board, it's plywood. And it's a full 3/4 inch thick. And it is glued and nailed down. From that point, we get into the walls. 2x6 walls for additional insulation. It makes it both strong and efficient. And we start talking about green things and green houses again. Well, I always reverted back to the green it costs to heat that house. The more efficient you make it, the cheaper it is to live in there, and our 2x6 walls help with that. Once we get to that point, we're up on the second floor and up into the roof. We put 2x6 rafters in there, follow the spans that we need to do. We don't like to use trusses because I think we can make a more efficient attic that's open. Sometimes we have to use trusses, but I would better than 95% of our homes, we do not use any kind of a truss system. On the roof, we put 5/8 inch sheeting on that roof, and we cover it with dimensional shingles. Our roof sheeting is actually thicker, or as thick as, some people use on their floors. I was in the window business for many years, and I found out that the best window during the test is a casement window. The harder the wind pushes against it, the tighter it gets, keeping out more air. We're using all insulated glass in these windows. They're wood windows, which can be trimmed out on the inside. It makes for a beautiful finished trim on the inside of the house. We talked about insulating the house with the proper insulation, so on. The next thing we do is drywall, and then we plaster. Many of our competitors put drywall up, put tape on it, and paint it. We put the drywall up, and then we put plaster on it, and then we paint it if you want it painted. You don't really need to paint plaster, but it definitely makes it easier to clean if you do put the paint on. We come in after the plaster's on, we put the trim work on the house. We're using oversized 2.5-inch casing. We're using full wood base on these homes. We're putting in solid pine panel doors. We're not using hollow core birch and Lawan doors that are in the market today. Everything that we do in this house is upgraded, from the solid wood base to the solid wood doors to the solid wood windows. Then we get into the kitchens and so on. Now, you can design these kitchens any way you want. We have basic prices on those. You can upgrade them. Our heating systems in the houses are designed well. They're set for the capacities that we need to be in. We are actually sizing these furnaces so that they're not too big, they're not too small. And the same thing with the air conditioning. People say, well, I want a bigger furnace. That is not the answer. The answer is get the right size furnace for that house so that it cycles properly and so on. Let's talk a little bit about the exterior of the home. One of the things that we do on the outside of the home is we do the rough grading on every lot. We always remove the topsoil, but when we're finished, a few days before the closing, we bring the topsoil back in and we grade it so the water runs away from the house. I think the grading and everything that we do, it enables us to make sure that it's done the proper way, because we have all the equipment. We don't have to call in a subcontractor to bring a bulldozer or a drill or anything in. We own it and we can do these things. I'm sure that you've seen our videos where there's equipment running around. It belongs to RWS and enables us to get the quality done on a timely basis that's needed.
For Bob Shuster, his ability to build homes goes hand in hand with his ability to build trust, the common thread that runs through every RWS development home.
When we decided to go with the house and have Bob build it, we had the great handshake when we decided to go ahead with it. And one thing that Bob said to me that impressed me very much was, "Thank you for having confidence in us." And that just kind of set the tone, and I felt very comfortable from that time on. We had never built a house before. I'd always said, I don't want to build a house, I don't want to make all those decisions, but it turned out to be a lot of fun. It's easy to work with him. We were here every day, and I enjoyed the process.
First-time home builders Jeff and Angela Cole quickly discovered that their decision to go with RWS was a popular one.
Even at the hair salon, it was funny. This lady was in the sink getting her hair washed, and the one hairdresser asked me, who's building your house? I said, RWS. And the lady popped her head out of the sink and said, oh, my house is an RWS house. She lives in Victoria West.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. She says, oh, I just love it. You're going to be so happy. And everywhere we go, anybody who knows your name has nothing but good to say. We've heard nothing bad.
My son likes to make jokes a little bit, and we have built houses, several houses for some people. Robbie calls them second-time offenders. So why are they coming back if they don't trust us? You know, here I've built one house for them, they sell it, they've built a lot of equity in it, and they've made money in it.
Two of those second-time offenders are husband and wife Don and Laura Albenzi.
The first house we built, it was a new experience, and to us it was a custom all the way through. We thought, you know, there was nothing that was prefabricated. I think we put everybody to work on this one here because, I mean, as you can see, there's definitely nothing in this house that's cookie cut.
I wanted a lot of privacy on the lot and wanted to feel free to be in my backyard and relax and not feel like I had the whole world staring at me. Bob asked me, well, what do you want? And I told him. And he says, you want this lot right here. And I says, are you sure? And he says, I'm positive. So without even seeing it, because this was just a big field, we went with it, and it's just perfect. I'm just so happy. And do not doubt anything that he tells me.
There was a time when quality at a great price meant lots of cookie-cutter designs and limited choices. Well, Bob Shuster, he's changing all of that.
Many people have said RWS is a cookie-cutter builder. I've heard this many times. I sort of laugh because if these other builders would just see what we do with a basic house and turn it from a basic house to a custom home, with our computer systems and so on, where we can do our own drawings. We sit there and you help design our house the way you want it. You're the one that's going to live in it, not us. You know how you want your kitchen made. You know how you want your bathrooms made. When it's all done, you have a custom home that is built for you. You're going to live in this house a lot of years. Why not have it the way you want it? When people hear or think about Shuster Built, I want them to just think one thing: satisfaction. Everybody wants to know how long their house is warranted and so on. I think that's a moot point if you build a house that's going to last. I always looked at one thing. You start at the footer, and you finally get to the roof. In between, there's a lot of things that have to be done, and they all have to be done right. You know, we all used to say, built like a Mack truck. Well, I want people to say, built like a Shuster house, and there's not many of them around that are built that way. It's taken me 20 years plus to get people to come to us and say, I don't need to talk about your quality. Your reputation stands on its own. The best thing that I have is word of mouth. I've built several houses for many people, sometimes as many as 2 and 3. They always come back to me, and there's a reason they come back, because they know that when a Shuster Built home goes on the market to be resold, there isn't a question of is it a good house. They even advertise, this house was built by Shuster. Now, with all those kind of things backing me, what can I say? So when you say Shuster Built, people know that it's quality.
Today, Bob Shuster continues a family tradition of building custom homes and meeting the changing needs of consumers. It's a daily challenge, but there are daily rewards. It's all about customer satisfaction.
Let's take care of our customers right up front. Build a house, make them happy through it. It's not hard to brag about these houses, you know. I say it right out. I think I beat all of them, from the development, from the houses that we build, hands down. There's no one around here that I feel can even compare with me. Well, you got to realize, I was born in this same farm that I still live on. I have never left. I've been here all my life. I'm concerned what happens to the community. I'm concerned what kind of housing and so forth is built in this township. We need to get the things looking beautiful so that when people drive into them, they won't know who built this many, many years from now, but they're going to say, look how beautiful they are. There's been a lot of thought into this.
They'll know it was well built.
Yeah, they may not know my name, but they're going to know that somebody did it right. And that's the whole key, do it right.
At RWS, the success stories of satisfied homeowners number in the hundreds. Now, each story has its own unique chapters, but the common thread is each homeowner's trust in Bob Shuster and RWS.
For Bob and the entire RWS family, building custom homes is more than a business. It's a way of life, rooted in a heritage of more than 80 years of building experience. Quality, trust, value, confidence. Just a handful of the words that describe an RWS custom home. Compare. That's the best homework you can do. You'll discover that Bob Shuster is building more than just neighborhoods. He's building quality and value into the place you'll call home.
On behalf of RWS Development and the entire Shuster family, I'm John Burnett. Thanks for watching this special edition of Custom Living.